ultimately, your success involves a combination of what I call the SEEP formula, S-E-A-P, which stands for your selling skills, your education skills, your activity, and your passion. Now, if you take most things in life, whether it's your health, your relationship with your family, or the work that you do in this business, it really comes down to about 3 or 4 things, and these are the 4 things that ultimately make you successful, and you really need to buy into that and focus on these 4 things. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink, and that is a fact. But here's another fact, is that you can add salt to the horse's oats and you can make the horse thirsty, and you will leave here today with a bunch of real tangible ideas to make you much more excited and much more thirsty about this business, and also make your clients much more excited and much more thirsty about dealing with you and the products and services that you offer. I travel lots and talk at lots of conferences like this, and very often I have agents come up to me afterwards very discouraged because they're doing poorly in the business. And whenever they do that, the very first question that I ask them is I say to them, are you doing the fundamental things that ultimately make you successful? And whenever I do that, usually they say yes, and then when I ask them exactly what they're doing, very rarely can they tell me, and then I always tell them that they don't track their numbers properly, and if they did, the reason that they're probably not doing very well is because they're not talking to enough people and don't even know it. Now, this is the DNA of what a prospect is. If I was to give you 2 minutes right now to write down exactly what a prospect is, would you be able to do that? Let me say that again. You've been in the business for 1 month or 1 year, 5 years or 10 years. Would you be able right now to write down exactly what a prospect is? Now, a prospect isn't really all that hard to define. A prospect has 4 qualities. They have to have a need or a want. They have to have the money to act. They have to be willing to talk to you, and they have to match your profile. Now, if I find somebody, they have a need or a want, they have the money to act, they match my profile, but they're not willing to talk to me, in my opinion, that's not a prospect. If I find somebody they have a need or a want, they match my profile, they're willing to meet with me, but they don't have any money, ultimately you run a for-profit business, Prudential runs a for-profit business, this person would not be a prospect for you. Now, everybody in society falls on one of 5 rungs of what I call the loyalty elevator. On the very bottom, we have a suspect, and you can see I have a question mark. We don't know if they have a need or a want. We don't know if they have the money to act, and we don't know if they want to talk to us. The next level, you can see I have a prospect, and that's somebody who meets our criteria and actually has money. You can see I have 3 bags of money on the right-hand side. Then, if we go up 1 more rung, we have a customer. You can see I have 2 bags of money on one side and 1 bag of money on the other side. That means they're dealing with you, but they're dealing with somebody else across the street. Then we have what I call a client, and my definition of a client is that somebody who deals exclusively with me for all the products and services that I can offer, or as a very minimum, I have lead provider status. Then at the very top level, I have an advocate, and that's somebody who not only deals exclusively with me or deals exclusively with you, but they're out there waving your flag and becoming your sales force. And ultimately, what you want to do is you want to graduate people to each level. You want to graduate your suspects to prospects, your prospects to customers, and your customers to clients, and your clients to advocates. What are the strategies and systems that you have in place to consistently get quality referrals from your clients? It pays to diversify in the event of adversity. And again, we preach diversification to our clients all the time, but I meet all kinds of financial advisors that don't practice diversification in their very own business. And what happened is that some financial advisors that just focused exclusively on investments saw all of their revenue just completely dry up when we had the economic crisis over the last few years. So ultimately, what you want to do in your business, you want to create multiple revenue streams. You want to have life insurance, disability insurance, critical illness, health insurance, savings and investments. So that when one of them dries up, you have other avenues that are going to provide revenue for you and your family. Now, here's something else about price. In Canada, laser surgery on your eyes costs about $5,000. And we have expert laser surgery on the right-hand side, charges $5,000, and all of a sudden, discount laser surgery opens up right next door and charges only $1,000 for laser surgery. Now, Dr. Iris is stuck in a really difficult position. Does she drop her price? Does she take less business? She's not quite sure what to do, so she sits down and thinks about it for a couple of days, and then instead of dropping her price, she puts a sign in her window that says, "We fix $1,000 eye jobs." If you get $1,000 laser surgery, you won't see very good, but your eyes will shoot lasers.